the one thing that's always commonly talked about on social media is how we can set boundaries to other people. I mean, especially like kids to the parents, but not a lot of people talk about the vice versa. Like, what would you say is like the best way to set boundaries? Like, do you have any tricks and tips on that? Like, how do you think like both sides can, like, set a boundary for each other? Like,
So, speaking from like the children's perspective, usually things or like that I do that really worked for me was number one, to communicate, to tell them that you're not okay with it. Like it's cliche to say, but saying no, or like saying or speaking your mind is really, really important.
right.
That's number one thing. And the second thing is to always keep yourself in check on what your boundaries are. Because sometimes you think that, okay, I don't want to do this, or like I am not this person. But like when you're with a group of friends, or when you're with your family who kind of speak a lot more emotional, you tend to cross your own boundary and say okay to things that you're really not okay with. So like I think the second thing is for you to keep yourself check on what boundaries that you've set. And the third thing is, especially with me, I've experienced a lot of people, even after I tell them no, even after I've set strict boundaries, they keep breaking it. So, like, you just need to know what's toxic and what's not. So, when someone is trying to not help you be in a space that you want to be, or like keep breaking your boundaries and doing something that's gonna affect the growth in you, I think those people aren't really meant to be in your life. So they're toxic to you, maybe they're not toxic to everyone else, but maybe to you. So and also understanding your own boundaries, because sometimes we set these boundaries at which we might pull ourselves back too much, or our boundaries are a little more influenced by probably our state of mind at the present, and then you don't know how to move forward or carry forward with it. So these are like few things I think people in 20s would help them. But like I cannot really say what it is like for a parent, but from my observation, from me seeing my parents, the few things that I understood, that they can, like, okay, like, they can do this, right? Like they can have these boundaries, right? So I think like from that point of view, I can say that the number one thing is to um always have, like, I think it comes down to the parenting style, because like there are two parents that you have, and then if one doesn't agree with the other, and then you are someone who's gonna choose one parent over the other, and make a decision based on your what you need. So
Yeah.
on that aspect, the number one thing is to first understand the parenting style, and like I think like both the parents should come together to make decisions for their children. I
Right.
think that boundary that we set for, like, I was also watching the series where there was this kid who would go and ask her mother about going on a date, and then she would say no, and then she would go to her father and ask, in an expectation that he would say yes, because their parenting style didn't match. So like I think like all of us are at one stage are like that, but that kind of disrupts the family a little bit. So that's number one. And number two is to have something to do outside of the family,
Yeah.
like both the parents should be doing something with their own life, let it be the career, or let it be their own peaceful time at home. I think not everything should be about the children who live, and sometimes they need their own space. And like we shouldn't let like the family consume you so much to a point without it you just feel like you have nothing else to do. Number three would be on like when you have like issues with your children, or the children have issues with their parents. I think like some families, the parents don't want to communicate, not try to understand or have a conversation.
Right.
They would just make a decision, and that is all it is.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it comes from the place of fear, like our previous conversation,
Yeah.
in a sense that, okay, this decision is the best for her. You know, if a
Yeah.
parent is feeling that and the children feel something else, which again could be wrong or could be right, but like not making decision for someone else and actually giving them the space to experience life based on what their decisions are. At least that could be a conversation that we can hold, rather than a parent or both the parents saying, okay, this is what your life is going to be. So like in that sense, even with the children, I feel that they need to not go too overboard to make
Yes.
decisions that are going to disturb the family as well, in a sense that, okay, you never let me do anything I want, so get lost, I'm going to go away and then live a life by myself. I think like that's not really a good decision. So yeah, so that would be the third thing.